Hello friends, today we're going to talk about frauds conducted in an organizations and auditors' role in prevention and detection of those frauds. I'm going to begin with an example. So here I have a company called Messrs. XYZ and Company who have appointed Mr. A to be their auditors. Now Messrs. XYZ and Company is a listed company dealing in power, generation, transmission, distribution. There was a big fraud conducted in the company in the sense that they would make fictitious profits. So how exactly were the fictitious profits created by Messrs. XYZ and Company? So what they did was they had a plant of 100 lakhs which was not making profit for a considerable period of time. So that plant was then transferred to an entity, say Messrs. ABC and Company, which existed only on papers. That means that company was solely created for the purpose of transferring these assets at a higher price. So the price of these assets transferred was 200 lakhs minus the cost to XYZ Company 100 lakhs, which actually gave them 100 lakh of fictitious profits. These fictitious profits nothing but added up to the balance sheet, which gave them a higher share value in the market. The present example stated here is very similar to the famous case of Enron and of course the associated auditors Arthur Andersen. As an auditor, we know that we have to rely a lot upon the documents, the records and the statements given by the management. We'll study about the inherent limitations, and one of them being the evidences that we collect actually flows in from the management, and hence Mr. A, the auditor, was unable to detect such frauds. The frauds was brought to the notice of the people by the market experts as they started questioning the rise in the stock prices. And hence the major question arose, the distrust between the people arose about the auditors. We know that the accountants are being paid by the client to review their own books of accounts, as in we get the revenue from the company to keep a watch on the company, and hence the reliability of the auditors is always questioned by the general public. In order to eliminate these doubts from the public's mind, ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, with their auditing and assurance standard boards, have formulated standards and framework to guide the work of the auditors in auditing such big clients. Now we know that SA 240 that deals with the auditor's responsibility in relation to fraud conducted in an organization. SA 240 explicitly says that auditors are responsible to gather a reasonable assurance and to ensure that the entire financial statement on the whole are free from material misstatements. When we talk of material misstatements, we are talking of frauds and errors. Although yes, the errors could be on a minor level and could enable the auditor to detect them, but frauds, when it comes from the internal department, when it flows from the management and the employees, it becomes really difficult. We also spoke about inherent limitations. One of the inherent limitations could be the way the audit evidences are obtained by the auditors. We all know that the audit evidences, the documents and the records flow in from the management, and hence relying upon them is the only option that the auditors have. Of course, we also have a third party confirmation, but in that case we need to have a balance between the cost and the benefit. Other inherent limitation could be, one of the major inherent limitations of audit is that the auditor is neither trained or neither is he an expert in detecting the fraud's documents. As SA 240 objective of an independent audit and conduct of an audit in accordance with the standards of auditing says that the basic purpose, the fundamental purpose of any audit is to increase the degree of confidence of the intended users of the financial statements. We've studied earlier, intended users could be the employees, could be the managers themselves, shareholders, government and the society on the whole. So when an auditor is trying to increase the degree of confidence of the intended users, he has to obtain reasonable assurance about the material misstatement in the financial records. So in no way that we can say that ICAI has put a responsibility on the auditors to detect the fraud, or in no way has the ICAI held auditors liable and responsible for the fraud detection. Auditors only obtain a reasonable assurance. And hence detection of the fraud at a later stage, after the audit has been completed or after the audit report has been issued by the company, by the auditors to the company, that in no way defines that the audit was not conducted properly, the procedures were not well defined, the skill and competency is neither questioned. So we know the conclusion of our study is, although the frauds are conducted in an organization, auditors are expected to keep their mind open about the misstatements and the frauds, to assess their processes, to assess internal control and the documents in a way to have a possibility of the fraud, but not go in a form of an investigation. Thank you.